inviting you to be a part of my television sensation.
Feeling exhausted and mentally tired and it's only midweek? Looking for that inspiration?
Welcome back to section 1. Now, as you can see, we have someone in the middle of Kyle and I now, Mr. Victor Roberts himself.
No stranger to the politics, no stranger to commentary, social commentary.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna go straight until 6 o'clock now. We wouldn't take any more breaks.
So those of you who want to call in, you could probably aim about 10 minutes before we start opening
about 5:50 we'll open up the line. 663-2335, 663-2335. We'll give you all 5 minutes before to load up the lines if you guys want to call in and ask Mr. Roberts anything.
But Victor, brass tacks now, brass tacks, time for brass tacks. We are on the verge, I think, of something historical in Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, Trinidad and Tobago has a history of marches and public protests, but for some reason over the last, let's say 20, 25 years, we've become a very docile society. We've done things have happened to us, and a lot of times Trinidadians, Trinidad and Tobago, we seem to take things sitting down. We are not as vibrant for the last 7 years at least. Strange enough coincidence, but we wouldn't talk too much politics, right? For the last 7 years, we've been very quiet, taking a lot of abuse, but simply not coming out. What is this protest, or what is this activism that you are promoting? What is it about? Tell the people.
Well, first of all, let me just say Sitaram, Assalamu Alaikum, and good afternoon to Trinidad and Tobago. Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here today, and as we continue the discourse in terms of mobilizing you, the people, to understand why it is important that you come with us on the 21st, on the 10th of December, the 7th of January, which will be the second leg from Sando to Chaguanas, and the final leg, which will be on the 13th of January, Black Friday.
The Black Friday March, we're calling it, right?
Right, the Black Friday March, and that's the day we will ask everybody to wear black.
To wear black, yes.
Right, so let me just get down into it. So first of all, what we are seeing happening in this country today as governance, what we have seen for the past 7 years, after we have experienced from the inception of the politics, and coming out from 2010 and 2015, where we saw a dynamics where the people of Trinidad and Tobago were benefiting from the resources of this country. Come 2015, we recognized that there was a total change in policy. And while the policy changed, we were promised before that, look, things will get better, things will get easier, and people of this country would be able to live, the crime situation would be under control, and all the goodies that normally comes when that bell rang. But today we are in an unfortunate place in that nobody seems to be safe anymore in this country. We have seen the cost of living move in a direction where today people cannot even provide for the children.
Yes.
We have seen today, a matter of fact, last night I was in the Labre Sobo area, and I mean, people were literally begging for some kind of assistance to Mr. Roberts, could you help us with a little uniform and books? And I mean, when you look at this time of the year, and people is asking for books and uniform and hamper and so on, you know for a fact what is happening. So this march is geared towards good governance. We have seen the crime situation escalate to a point where it's unbearable. We have seen, a matter of fact, I have looked at 327 children that went missing for the first 6 months in this year. And today it seems as though nobody could give an account.
Yeah, correct. Right?
The murder toll is totally out of control, and we are set to reach the point at the highest figure in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Added to that, we have seen the way in which those who are charged with the responsibility to administrate, we have seen the behavior of those individuals. We have seen where serious allegations, and I will consider those allegations to be more serious than the allegations against Mr. Warner. We have seen
this is the Nelson, right? Yes.
We have seen serious allegations in relation to Faris Alwari and Vincent Nelson. And I mean, we just cannot continue to prolong the reality that this government has lost its way. The country is on autopilot. It seems as the plane may crash any minute.
Yes.
So it is already descending nosebow.
So I think the crux of this is that we have a real problem in this country with governance, we have a real problem in this country with this government especially not taking the measures that they need to take for the benefit of the citizens and people in this country, and going about their business aloof to the concerns of our population.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is bring them back down. You know, the song come down from there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know song and I can't sing, right? But we need to bring them back down to earth. And I think the best way for us to bring them back down to earth is to march, is to protest, is to demonstrate, and to really show the government that we as a people are not happy with your governance, and that you need to take stock of that. And if you're unable to govern, well, call an election and let others put their name forward.
And Victor touched on the crime situation, but as we mentioned it earlier, those who want to pass and pop your horn and stuff is not only the groceries name, but every time I go in the grocery, something rising. The same things I buy in rising every single time. And thankfully, I'm in a situation where I could absorb that cost, but eventually I wouldn't be able to.
Correct.
And then there are those who cannot absorb those costs, who come out and think, and then we're talking about the pump.
Yeah.
How are we following? We can't transport, the kids can't go to school.
And Victor, one of the things I said here, and I say it here purposely, right? And this is not to attack or criticize any class or segment of population, right? But we seem to have a problem when you come to the young professionals, the middle class people. They will go out, have their beer on a Friday, lime, do their posh limes, etc. But they're not, for some reason, engaged in the politics of the country. We need to get them back engaged, and it's not to attack them, because sometimes the best way to deal with pain is to avoid it. You know? That's a human condition. You have a painful situation in your life, you want to avoid it, you continue doing, you go watch.
Oh, you pretend it doesn't
you might make a Facebook post about it.
But that's the most that they will do.
We need to get them back out. We need to get young people out. We need to get the professional class in this country. We need to get the middle class. We need to get everybody out. It doesn't matter where segment of the population you fall in. You need to come out and march on these issues.
Well, I think we can no longer pretend that we doesn't have a problem.
That's
to start with.
Yeah, correct.
And we cannot pretend that those young professionals that you are speaking of is not really engaging in the politics of the country. What is unfortunate about that is that the politics of the country rules in somewhat everybody's life.
Yes.
Because any policy that the politician would adopt through the parliamentary system,
everybody.
And when it is enacted, then whether or not you choose to be involved or not involved, you have to obey. You have to comply, or you pay the price.
Correct.
Right? So this is a case where every individual in this country needs to understand that, look, we have to get involved in the direction in which we take this country.
Correct.
It cannot be left up to those who are without ideas, because from where I sit, this administration doesn't have an idea as to how to get the country out of the pit that we are in.
Yes.
And while the young professional might have the beer on a Friday and go to the beaches or the fine restaurants and drink scotch and eat shrimps, as the case may be, the criminal element very soon
waiting for you.
They are prepared to attack those section of the country, because they're not going by the parlor. What they will get them, I guess, cent and penny, because we heard where the robber doubles man, 5 or 4 of them, and they gave $400 or whatever the case. But the attack going to be coming very soon on those.
It's not already, because they come after businesses.
Right. Those same professionals who feel that we could go down and have a beer today, and we
bypass, we drive in the car on the highway, house to destination and back. They carjacking you now.
It would not work. It would not work.
But it's not only that. The venom I want the young professionals and the middle class to come out. Kyle will remember this. When the country was on lockdown, Kyle and I were one of the biggest advocates in terms of the law and how it was implemented. And they locked down the borders and we weren't able to fly out. Well, that was when we got a lot of the messages and a lot of the callings from the middle class. Because they locked them into the country. Right? And or they locked some of them outside the country. So they couldn't leave and they couldn't come back. Right? And that is when we heard from them, because it was affecting them straight on. And now we're in a position where everything is back to normal, seemingly going back to normal, and these laws and everything that these politicians are doing affects you in some way, but you're turning a blind eye and you're not doing it.
And in particular with crime, and here's how we tie it in with crime and the democracy. You see, this government is a runaway government, as I see it. They have no interest in governing by the people, for the people, and in a democratic of the people, right? They have no interest in that. They are attacking independent institutions right, left, and center. And one of the institutions that they are undermining and attacking is the police service in this country, because it's an institution. It's not just a bunch of men; it's an institution. And when
with
your
full
focus,
autonomy,
with full autonomy, and when your focus is to influence the police service and the prosecutorial system in this country to attack political opponents, because that's what they did with Nelson Gate. That's what they're doing by paying to SRP $40 million to go after political opponents and some nonsense, right? When you make the police do that, the police can't patrol the roads.
Yeah.
They don't have the resources to deal with crime, to protect you and me and our families and our loved ones. And that's the problem.
Well, you see, we had to go to the head of the fountain with this one.
Yes.
Because we are in this situation simply because Trinidad and Tobago have allowed the government to interfere with the democratic process of selecting a commissioner of police.
Beautiful, exactly.
And when we allow that precedent to be set in the country,
yes,
it's not only dangerous to the democracy, but it's dangerous to every citizen in the country. When you will look at the president, which holds the highest office, the president who is well learned, a lecturer, a
lecturer of ethics,
exactly. And when a president can be influenced to go contrary to the oath that she swear or he swear, as the case may be, and conspire with a prime minister and breach the constitution, then we are faced with the situation today. As a result of that, we have Jacob, who is now sitting at the helm, and from where I sit is not qualified to sit there, one. Two, is being influenced by political persuasions. Yes. And when that is happening in a country and the citizenry remain quiet, it's a serious case for or a platform for the dictator to operate, because he could send the police service behind any opponent. Could be you, could be you, could be me, anybody that he so choose. And all this is why Trinidad and Tobago have to understand that we have to stand up and get back our democracy. I am saying, if you have a problem with the constitution, then feel free to go through the process and have it changed in the parliament.
Yes.
But we cannot have a handful of people with simple majority, water down everything, do as they want, do as they please, ain't care about you, ain't care about me, the country going haywire, and we just going to have a beer when the weekend comes.
And that's it, and you set the stage there properly. When they first interfered with the selection of a commissioner of police, they were essentially signaling to the police service, you belong to me.
Yep.
All our we play sports. If a man who's a total, I don't want to use that word, but if a man who's a total waste of time,
idiot,
get appointed as my captain of a cricket team, you think I go to stand up on the field and bother when he tell me go slip or go short leg? You think I go in under the bat and short leg to field?
Yeah,
no, I say, like, you don't know what you're doing. You take your time.
Yeah.
If I, as a police officer, knows that the Constitution sets up a specific process for my leader to be appointed, because I'm a police officer, and you are appointing commissioner of police, the Constitution sets up a specific process for my leader to be appointed, and politicians are allowed to intercept, interrupt, and influence that process for their own benefit. How much respect am I going to have for my leader? And when in any organization people have no respect for your leader, then they're not going to follow. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the police service now, and that's why, with the greatest of respect, I know many hardworking police officers, all of us know. But when you're not focused and when you're not getting the resources, because resources going behind fighting political opponents, crime cannot be solved. And when crime cannot be solved, all of this fancy democracy we're talking about, it's going to come knocking on your door with a gun in your face to rob you and potentially take your life. And that is why this march is important.
And that's why I'm talking about that. Let's pull up the
Put up the dates.
But added to that, Kyle.
Yeah, go ahead, talk. Yeah, we have the graphic up.
Added to that, I often say what we are seeing happening on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago today in relation to crime, it's a mirror as to what is happening in governance.
Yes.
Just what you are seeing on the street is what is happening in governance. Those on the street rob you the gun, those upstairs they rob you the jacket, the tie and the pen. Added to that, you cannot break the law to appoint someone to uphold the law.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. And this march, ladies and gentlemen, it is of such importance to our democracy. Because when you look at, I was reading earlier on in one of the dailies where 400 abuse is being reported to the Child Protection Unit every month. 400. I ain't talking about 4.
Yeah,
400
instances
every
of abuse.
month. Right? 400 abuse. We have 127 children cannot be accounted for. We have adults who gone missing. No answer.
Yeah.
We have persons, I think I told you some time ago that under one of the home invasion that a lady was raped in that situation, and while she called and she shared the information with me, she don't want to be identified but she did not report it to the police. And then some people may say, well, right, why she didn't report it to the police, and the whole scenario. But the point remains is this: when all these things continue to happen and there is no accountability by the government, we have a minister who tells us that it's not his responsibility to keep us safe, right? We have a prime minister who tell us he don't tell women who to choose.
Yeah.
We have another minister with a $4.4 million in a venture credit union account.
Yeah.
We have a special branch report. We have another minister with $143,800 inquiry going on. So, yeah, I'm saying all this. We have the Nelson Gate. We have the Inez Gate, and all these big gates is just to tell you allegations of misconduct and wrongdoing with a housing project. We have the Prime Minister Tobago residence. I read this week where the company that the government tell us that they paid $2.5 million to do a zipline in Tobago. We are now seeing that company doesn't exist. So I mean, and I could go on until the time run out with the amount of various allegations, and are talking about serious allegations.
And let's contextualize that. All of that you talk about, 2.5 million, the disastrous Nelson issue, like, so let's take it down to brass tacks. All that money you've paid to facilitate Mr. Vincent Nelson to so-called give evidence, right? Pay any lawyers and all of that, right? What if you had hired 30 or 40 more investigators in the Child Protection Unit, or in the Children Affairs what do you call it?
Child
Protection Unit of the Children Authority, right? I have about 50 more investigators, so that when you see those reports coming of child abuse,
you're sufficiently staffed.
Yeah. How much? I sure they only have a few investigators there. I have about 50 or 60 more, and when those allegations come in, they can go out and interview the parents, interview the neighbors, interview the child, isolate the child, interview them. Use that money for that. Protect our children so that they're not abused. And then it's well known that when children are abused, when they grow up, they could potentially end up as abusers. And you create a cycle. And you see, that's good governance. Divert your resources to where they need to be. And if you put your resources where you need to be, our country will be so much better. And that is the whole purpose of this march and this movement by Mr. Roberts. Come out and tell the government, you need to fix yourselves, fix your priorities, and if you can't fix your priorities, then you need to step down.
But Kyle, this will continue. We have had a Judith Jones report.
Yes.
And that Judith Jones report, I read that report, and there is some areas in that report that that
Disturbing.
get me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, disturbing.
But to the end of the day, you could remember we had a prime minister and a minister, Yana Webster Roy, in the office of the
Ministry.
prime
Who sit down on the
minister,
report.
who sit down on that
Yeah.
report while our children are being
Yeah.
abused,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now the
Correct.
Child Protection Unit is
Yeah.
telling us that they are having 400 cases every month.
Yeah.
You know, Kyle raised a very pertinent point. These children, when they are abused, you know what happens to the psyche.
Yeah.
You know what will happen when these children reach adulthood. You know that some of the acts that is perpetrated against these children, you know what will happen to your children. You want to sit and drink a beer and have a time in the bar. You want to sit down in your home and don't want to come out and stand up against the wrongdoing.
Exactly.
You believe that all is right and everything is good.
We have
To
a-
the end of the day, you will see what will happen.
We have a call.
The calls are coming.
Welcome to section 1.
Welcome to section 1.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
No, I think the answers, one of the most important answers we have to go to, sir, Mr. Roberts. We need to liberate, we need to emancipate our African brothers, sir. They have not been fully liberated, nor have they been fully emancipated. So we see in the past, they stood up, but under this Rowley government, I don't know why is it they are so afraid to come out. Now I blame the press and the media too, sir. You see how they used to honk.
Hello? I think we
We
lost.
lost that call.
You could call back 663-2335, 663-2335. I think we
And
have.
Paula, let me respond to that.
Yeah.
I think you are very, very, very correct in your discourse. Now, at the same time, caller, you have to remember that our minds, from a tender age growing up, the African people believe that the African government belongs to them.
Yeah.
That is something that we were taught. When I was growing up, our parents and grandparents will tell us, look, we don't have land, you know. We don't have money. But you know what we have? We have political power.
And
we must never give it up.
And systems, politics across the world, you tend to have what we like to call here tribal support and tribal.
Right.
But these issues of democracy, this must elevate beyond race, beyond class,
Exactly.
beyond
Correct.
everything else. We're not dealing with we're not going to limit this to anything like that. This is a country and nation and nationhood problem. We are a sovereign democratic state. The Constitution doesn't say that we shall be a sovereign democratic race.
Yeah.
It says a sovereign democratic state. State encompasses all of us, and that is why it is important for our democracy that we support this cause and we highlight these issues, Victor. Right?
And you're correct. You're correct. And I could say from where I sit that the people eyes are opening to
Yes.
the reality.
Let me just say the number in case we have any more callers. We might have some new callers because I know Douglas Politics is broadcasting us. So the number you're trying to call if you want to get on is 663-2335. That's 663-2335. So what we could do, Josh, let's take a 1 minute break.
We
If
may
they
not
have,
be able to. We only have 4 minutes.
that's why we'll go out 5 minutes late. That's fine. We can go out 5 minutes late today. We have a special guest, all right? So let's take a 1 minute break. 663-2335. If there are any callers, you all could line up and start calling. We take a 1 minute break, Josh. Yeah. section 1. I think we have a call on the line.
I think we have it now. Yeah.
Go ahead, yeah,
Go ahead.
caller.
Hang up and try your call again.
Sorry about that, caller. If we have another one. Okay, yeah, good.
We had a couple of calls during the break, so
During break, yeah.
so call back and we'll
the lines are giving a little trouble, so bear with it if you're not getting through, right? But so Victor, give us the dates again and what you want to do in each phase here. Tell
Right.
us. Yeah.
So what we want to do on the
And where your
10th,
starting point, where your
on
ending
the 10th
point.
of
we have it up.
December. That's
We have a
Saturday.
call.
We have a call. Give me
Let's
1
go.
second.
Alright,
Yeah, caller. Welcome to section 1. Hi, welcome to section 1. You're live.
Alright, yeah. It seems that the lines seem to be giving some
Hello?
trouble.
Yes.
Caller?
Yes, I you know, there are a lot of suffering in this country, and the first thing we have to look at is if the government is implementing proper fiscal policies
Yes.
to address those sufferings.
Right.
This government is not introducing fiscal policies to assist anyone.
Yeah.
They are not assisting small and medium-sized enterprises. They're not. So, in other words, they can't assist the smaller people in the country. They have to look at putting on industries, training for industries, so that they could create employment for the people, and that is what is causing the crime in this country.
Yes. Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
caller. Caller, we had a company by the name of Petrotrin in Trinidad and Tobago, which I often refers to as the milking cow, because that was the cow that given the country milk, that bring in forex, that had the economy
And they closed it down.
standing.
Yeah.
And the government closed down Petrotrin. Not only close it down, you know, but the people of this country need to question and get into the reason why it was closed.
Yeah.
Welcome
we
to
have a
section
caller.
1.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Roberts, Mr. Taklasing, and the other gentleman, I didn't get his name.
Mr. Ramkisu.
Good afternoon to you all and to everybody
Good day.
on the chat.
Thank you.
Everybody on the chat. You know, I am sitting here and listening to Mr. Roberts, all the things that he's highlighted concerning what's going on in the country. And you know what is amazing? All the unions that were very vociferous, Plot, Winard, everybody who were vociferous against Mrs. Prasad Bises's government. Today you're not hearing a word in English from these people.
Yeah.
Look at how much wrong things that went on with that Nelson Gate. And you know, Mr. Roberts, we mustn't forget Darrell Gate, you know. Because Darrell should have been before the court for sexual harassment. And Rowley came up with some excuse as to why he couldn't report it or some nonsense. You know him,
Yeah.
right? And to see that nobody is speaking about it.
Yeah.
And today I came across a video with Shiraz Khan when he was calling Rowley a liar. That Rowley sat down in that chair with them and make them campaign, well, asked them to campaign against Kamala, and they were campaigning on what was happening. I would like to ask him what was happening. Now it is worse and we are not hearing you all.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are doing too much, and in my opinion, they are getting away with it.
Caller, I hope you are going to be supporting this movement by Mr. Roberts. Oh, I think she went. Okay, yeah, well, that's the point, yeah. But tell us, before we tell us about the events and the dates and what we want to do, because interspersed or between these events, we're going to be having meetings, and I think we have the next meeting coming up
Tuesday at
Standard Ground in Faizabad. And I think we're going to have a nice program there, live. We're back out live, and we're going to be whipping up support.
We're going to start the process at the Palaseco Junction. That's the Palaseco Market, the road to going beach camp.
Right.
We will start there, and we will be taking it from there to San Fernando. That will be on the first phase.
Right.
That will be on the 10th. And then on the 7th of January, we will be moving from Sando to Chaguanas.
Yeah.
And then, of course, on the 13th, which is D-Day,
Yeah.
we will be moving from Chaguanas to Port of Spain.
Right.
So that's basically the 3 legs of the march.
Right.
So we started in Palo Seco.
Right.
And I just wanted to get back to a point. Petrotrin that the Prime Minister closed down.
Come back.
we could go to the freedom of information, and we will see where the prime minister is a blatant liar. Where Petrotrin.
But we don't need the freedom of information for that. The
was
man
making
said
a
live.
profit.
The man said live on TV something about a fridge door,
Yeah.
right? We not closing down Petrotrin, but they proceeded to close down Petrotrin.
But we must ask the Prime Minister if Petrotrin was closed based on the AV drilling matter. That is a question we
That's
must
a
ask
question
the,
that could
the
be
Prime
asked.
Minister.
Yeah. Several questions
We
have
must
to be
ask
asked.
that question
They-
because you will remember the Prime Minister was outside and he took a phone to call AV. To ask AV, what is this I hear about fake oil? When he had the
Well,
board
said
who he
that-
appointed.
He said that publicly.
Right.
Yeah, he said that very publicly.
But Kyle, he had the board to ask. He had the line minister to ask. He had his attorney general
And
to
it should. But you
ask.
see, and all of that is poor governance, poor management, and that is a government. Whenever any issue, AV is one thing, but any issue comes up, it's not the job of the prime minister to go and investigate something. It is the job of the police, if there is evidence or strong allegations, because an investigation can be launched on very simple, and an investigation should be launched on a report. Mr. Naked went down the road and dropped a letter to the police to say investigate this Nelson Gate.
Right.
That's all the police need to do to investigate.
But hear this, hear this. What confidence?
Welcome to section 1.
Oh, we have a caller. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're live. You're section 1. Hi. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good day.
This is Douglas Politics.
This is. Don't worry. We could call it that for now. This is Jagrati. Go ahead.
Huh?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
I listen, I let go. I will forget lights, your gate. I will forget that gate. Shut it.
So, which? Sorry,
All right.
don't get bait. I don't know.
Thanks, caller. You have a good day.
What did he say? Rowley Gate.
say we no.
We forget Rowley Gate. How did he? Yeah.
So you have a good day, caller.
You have a good day, caller.
You see, the point, the fact remains is how transparent
Yeah.
can any investigation be conducted when you have an acting commissioner of police who appears to be taking instruction from the political directorate.
Acting as a puppet.
So how? We look at how much investigation, so much allegation, and nothing is forthcoming.
And it's manifested in the murder rate in this country. It is not me or Stefan or you who said that murder rate is a barometer of crime in this country. No, it was a PNM administration that every single PNM minister and PNM official and the general council of the PNM agreed to, right? And that is the barometer. And unfortunately, and it's not that anybody wants the murder rate to skyrocket. Any murder is a murder too much. But we are approaching almost 600 murders in this country. At least that's what that's a forecast, and I hope that doesn't come to pass. But unfortunately, it seems to be heading that way, and that is a serious problem in this country. Yes.
And that is why the people must come out.
Yes.
That is why the people must come out. You must come out to demand good governance. That is what this march really is about.
Governance,
you know. Governance, good governance. And I just make it across the board. No government must get a free pass going forward in this country.
Yeah.
Any government that sits on the chair must operate transparent, must operate with accountability, and we the people must be the check and balance to ensure that happen. Because I am telling you, and I want to go back and don't feel I'm beaten up on the young professionals, but while you're having a beer, remember very soon you may very well intend to have children. And when you have children, you will want your children to grow up in a safe environment. You will want your child to attend a school that is safe, crime-free.
Yeah, not where you're ducking on that.
You will want your children to have opportunities. And this is why we are calling on you as the young professionals to stand up. Because today, as I often say, we eating a little grass, you know. Your children might eat the dirt that the grass comes from. But when the grass and the dirt finish, what your children, your grandchildren will eat. This is not a game. This is not about some political whim and fancy. This is about the future of the country. This is about the future generation. This is about ensuring that Trinidad and Tobago would be able to sustain itself with the resources that is God given in this country, and to ensure that your children have a future. I am saying, and you are seeing, that if we continue with the rate and with the current affairs in this country, without a shadow of a doubt, is not only would there be no future for your children, but you, the parent, your future will be short-lived, because nobody in this country is safe anymore.
Yep.
And we must bring back that sense of safety. The criminal elements, which is a small handful to what is existing. But the problem with that is that when you have a government who are involved in criminal activities, what would you expect would happen in the country? This is your chance. This is your opportunity to be a part of the game changer in this country. This is your opportunity to stand up and to ensure that those who you have elected to serve with dignity. For far too long in this country, we sit down on the side and we allow anything to happen. We allow anything to pass for governance. And I am telling you, we are on the verge of being too late. We are on the verge for no hope. I am asking you, Trinidad and Tobago, for your children's sake, for the future's sake, let us come out on the 10th, the 7th, and the 15th and give that government the mandate by our presence that, look, is either your shape up or your shape out.
Thank you.
That is the mission that we will be moving on.
All right. So,
Right. We get any signals.
Signal there, yes.
Right. So thank you so much, Mr. Roberts. I mean, if we couldn't have said it more passionately
better,
than
no,
that.
I'll let you run away, man.
Just give us a 10 seconds up and put the
Let's
post
go
up,
back up the
please,
graphic.
so that we could be able to see. And these are the dates. Again, the 10th, the 7th of January, and the 13th of January. Those are where it's going to start. I'm sure, looking on Mr. Victor Roberts' program, you will see all of the logistics will be explained to you.
Yeah.
But again, come out, support, bring your
And the
placards.
first, bring your placards, make your effigy, right? Make your effigy decent, nothing obscene.
Nothing obscene.
Make your effigy, make your placard, and come out and let's demonstrate. Come back, and then don't forget there is a live show. Mr. Roberts will have his live show to promote, starting I think this Tuesday in Faizabad Junction.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Revolt and Revolution.
Thank you so much, Victor, for joining us in section 1.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we hope you come back and join us again. But thank you so much to you, the viewers, for joining us. We'll see you next week, Sunday.
Take care.